I went to sit at this bar, so I'm like, today drained me.
Today drained me.
Hi, I'm Desiree. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so many things, but I am most recognized as a cosmetologist. I recently moved to Houston and I've been here for 6 months. Above all things, I feel that my faith has been tested and strengthened the most. I procrastinated on making a YouTube channel for like 4 years. I just really didn't think that people would be interested in my content. After posting TikTok videos, I realized that YouTube users were appropriating my videos, and I'm like, I could post my own content. Here I am with my first YouTube video. Of course, I needed a little help, so I went to Instagram and gathered some questions from my followers. And here's what the people want to know. The question was, what keeps you inspired? And how do you find it? So I can be inspired by just about anything. I can literally wake up, log into Instagram, and I'm inspired simply because someone is following their dreams or along the same path as me. I grasp a bit of inspiration throughout my day. So my sister is a sophomore in college, and I saw her diligently doing her homework, and I'm like, you know what? I should go back to school. And even though I'm becoming quite the professional student, I'm like, I'm good at it. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back. My cousin, she took her GRE test after 2 weeks of studying. So I'm like, let me stop sitting on this information. Let me go ahead and take my test. So I took my test, and that same cousin was accepted into grad school. So I'm currently writing my statement of purpose. I believe that the company I keep definitely has an impact on my life, and I'm definitely appreciative of them. So I just need the slightest bit of inspiration. So the next question is, how do you stay motivated? And I don't stay motivated. Like, I can literally be motivated at 1 o'clock, and by 2 o'clock, literally can't trust my emotions. I can't go based off of what I'm feeling. I can't go based off if I'm feeling motivated. I literally have to just prioritize my discipline. I remember watching this video of Rihanna being interviewed. The interviewer asked Rihanna, what do you do on those days where you don't feel yourself? And she said, pretend. Like, I literally have to pretend until I'm feeling back motivated again. Until I'm motivated, I definitely am disciplined and taking the steps that'll lead me to where I would like to be. The next question asks, what do you do when you're down? When I'm down, I allow myself to feel down. I remember watching this movie. It's one of my favorite movies, actually. It's called The Fault in Our Stars. And the main character, Hazel Grace, made a quote, and it stuck with me. This movie came out in 2015, and I've been quoting that ever since. That pain demands to be felt. That resonated with me because pain does demand to be felt. You have to feel pain. When you feel pain, that will help you to appreciate your happiness once it arrives. One thing I don't do is drown in my feelings. Like, I literally have to snap out of it. I allow myself a moment to cry and feel that pain or feel whatever it is I'm feeling. But after a while, I'm like, okay, girl, you've been there for too long. Get up. It's time to move to the next step. I also have to encourage myself, speak some life back into me. There is a quote that says that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So I'm encouraged because I know that I won't feel it forever. And whether I'm happy or sad, I am continuously praying. So I always got God with me. So even when I don't know the words to say, I'm like, God, you know exactly what I need. The next question asks, what made you pursue hair? I always wanted to do hair because I saw my mom doing hair, and she did hair from our house. She did it from our den. So I would see her do certain styles, and I would mimic them on my doll. And then after a certain period, I began asking for a mannequin so that I could actually hot curl the hair. And I began asking for mannequins on Christmas, birthdays. I just wasn't a normal child. I was watching Lifetime, Law and Order, doing my mannequin hair like I was already in my salon, and that moment came back around full circle because here I am watching true crime and doing my client's hair. One of my cousins was my actual live model. She would come to my house on the weekends, and when she would come to my house, I already knew I was doing her hair. I would say, like, you want me to do your hair? Even though I already knew I was doing her hair. So she was like, yeah, let me call my mom. So she would always call her mom, and her mom would always say yes. So she was basically my guinea pig, and I tried every style on her. Sometimes she would ask me, do you know how to do this style? And I'm like, yeah, girl, I know how to do that. I would be praying through the whole hairstyle, like, Lord, please let me get through this. But after taking pictures and posting it, I began advertising for my business, and other people began finding out about me and took interest and supported me the whole way until I was where I am today. So I'm very appreciative of my village. I began doing hair as a braider, but I remember the moment where everything changed. My friend asked me to do her hair, and I was like, you should get a bob. So I literally took my school scissors, I went to the hair store, bought a few other things, and used the supplies that my mom had passed down to me, and I did her hair. The next day she went to school showing her hair off. From that point, I began doing hair on the weekends. More people became interested in getting weaves and bobs. And so when I graduated high school, I had a few consistent clients, and I was traveling from house to house. But I was also a full-time student at Savannah State University for civil engineering, and I was working at Krispy Kreme. So being a full-time student, a part-time working, and a part-time cosmetologist, my schedule was getting pretty hectic, especially having to make my homework submissions by 11:59, or if I had a quiz or a test. I began bringing my laptop to work with me so I could be able to do my homework on my break and work simultaneously. So one day I left my laptop in the break room. I went back to the front to work. Somebody came up to me and said, he just broke your laptop. I said, he just broke my laptop. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I'll still be able to use it. I get to the laptop tore up. I said, I know good and well, the day I bring my laptop to do my work is broke. So at first he was so apologetic, saying he would replace it and everything. And I'm like, good, because this ain't even my laptop, this is my mama's laptop. So then when his dad came, the demeanor kind of shifted a bit. His dad was saying the laptop shouldn't have been at work. Well, the laptop is at work because Krispy Kreme is not all that I want to do with my life. It's a long story short, they didn't replace my laptop. My manager ended up saying I would have to take him to civil court. I was going to replace it before my mom even found out, but she ended up finding out about it before I even got a chance to replace it, and I ended up getting an election. Every time I go 2 steps forward, y'all always take me 10 steps back. I'm like, I gotta hear this because somebody else broke your laptop. Count your days, sir. By that time, I realized that doing a certain amount of heads in a day would add up to my paycheck. So I'm like, no. From that day, I said, you know what? I don't even have the time for this job. I don't gotta work here. I don't have to do this. I went to my school. I went to the computer lab. I typed me up a 2 weeks notice, put it in the envelope, and handed it to my manager. I just prayed and I said, Lord, I really only got like 3 good, consistent clients, but I'm gonna need you to help me out. Lord, I know I always need something, but I really need you to help my business. I need you to bless my business. By doing that, I was able to manage my time according to my school schedule. After traveling from house to house for a few months, my mom sat me down with a proposition. She said, I see that you're passionate about it, and I want you to be able to work from the shop, but there are a few guidelines you're gonna have to follow. The money you're gonna make is gonna be extremely fast. The moment I see that you come to work and not going to class, I'm pulling you out of that shop. Make sure that you are staying in line with your goals. Do not let this money distract you. This is your side hustle. I applied and got accepted for my apprenticeship, and I began working in the salon. Went from 3 consistent clients to the point that I was overwhelmed with clientele. I had to stop accepting text messages, and I had to transition to a website so that it would be easier for me to manage. I definitely did not lose sight of my goals, and I graduated with a bachelor's in civil engineering in 2020. After I graduated, I thought for sure that I was just gonna be done with hair, but God definitely had other plans for me. After I graduated college, I started applying for jobs. I didn't hear back from them right away. I went on to flight school. Once I started flight school, I needed to commit my time to that. So doing hair allowed me to be flexible with my schedule. Once I finished with flight school, I went ahead and got my cosmetology license as well. So from that point, I knew I wanted to relocate. I just spent that year traveling to different states to see exactly where I fit. And this also was the first time that I didn't have to commit my time to anything, so I just traveled at my own leisure. And after traveling a while, I realized that I like Texas. So I was like, let me do a few tours in Texas and see exactly what area I would like to stay in. First, I was in Dallas, but the week that I was going to tour in Dallas for the second time, something told me to change my flight to Houston. Even though to change my flight was like $300 additional, I was like, do it. So I changed my flight to Houston, and when I got here, I was like, yeah, this is it. And my mom always told me, like, you'll get that gut feeling, you'll know when it's right. And I was like, yeah, I could see myself here. And once I was looking for tours, I found this perfect area for me. I did my whole application process and everything went through. But when it came down to them check stubs, they said no. So at this point, I was definitely feeling discouraged. But y'all know, like I said, when I feel discouraged, when I'm looking for motivation, I pretend. So I pretended that everything was gonna be okay. So I was like, everything gonna be okay, everything gonna work out. But in my head, I was really in the dumps about that because I really loved that apartment. So I hired a locator. I went on this strenuous search. After reading reviews, I realized that I actually want a garage because they steal tires in Texas, and I didn't want to wake up to my heart being broken because my tire is stolen. Being denied allowed me to be more particular with my preferences. So I was like, I want an island. I want a walk-in closet. I want my bathroom to be connected to my bedroom. And I want a garage. I've always found that when I ask God for what I want specifically, He provides just that. And when I was looking at this place, I was like, this it. I'm not gonna fly to Texas just to see one more apartment. So I did a virtual tour and I was like, I like it. I did my application, submitted my check stubs, and I got approved. Man, I was just so happy. I did my moving date 2 months from that day. I figured by 2 months, I should definitely have a job in the engineering field by then. So I was applying, and when I told my mom, of course, she sent me so many applications. She sent me like 20 applications in a day. I was applying, I never heard back, but I was just trusting God in that process. After time went by, I just knew God was gonna send me a miracle. It was kind of like a week away, and people were asking me, was I nervous? And I hadn't been nervous until that week before because I still did not have a job. So I was like, no, I'm not nervous. Yeah, very nervous. I thought for sure that I was going to get hired that week. Didn't get hired, so I said, instead of keep applying for jobs, go out and go look for jobs. So I looked for networking events. I applied to temp agencies. I went up to temp agencies. I went to walk-in interviews. Everyone kept saying, impressive resume. But unfortunately, we are going with other candidates. Of course, discouragement came rushing in. One day I went to this open interview. All of the managers had left early that day. Unfortunately, I was not able to do an interview, but I still had on my clothes. And I went to sit at this bar. So I'm like, today drained me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Today drained me.
I'm eating my pizza, drinking my drink, and this lady next to me, she started talking to me. She was like, you look nice. What did you do today? So I was like, I actually went on some interviews. She was like, what were you interviewing for? I was like, some server and bartender positions. Because at this point, I'm just desperate. I'm like, I know I could do serving and bartending. Let me just get some money until I get hired as an engineer. So she was like, really? My job is looking for bartenders. We are entering a busy season. So I'm like, really? She was like, yes, you definitely need to go there now. She was like, I'm texting him now. Go there, and do you have a resume? I was like, yes, I have my resume. So she was like, okay, perfect. Well, go there. I just texted him and told him that you're on the way. I pull up, me and the guy, we're talking, and of course I'm a little nervous, but that's usual. So I'm basically hired on the spot as soon as soon as I come because I'm dressed nice and I know how to hold a conversation, of course. So he's like, how would you make a such and such drink? And I'm like, I haven't bartended in so long. I was actually only an event bartender. So when I first began bartending, I started with flashcards. So I definitely don't remember. I was actually like a freshman in college. So, and I was basically an event bartender at that. So I didn't have to even remember those recipes. So when he asked me, it caught me off guard. And I was like, I definitely need to refresh my memory. So I'm thinking he'll let it pass. He asked me for another drink. I was like, sir, do you not realize I need a job? He was like, okay, well, thank you for meeting with me. I'll reach out to you. So from that point, I knew I wasn't hired. So I'm like, damn, I just bombed this. When really, if I was prepared, I would have knew all the recipes. So I went home discouraged. So the next day when I woke up, I was like, I'm not even worried about no interviews today because I know God gonna make a way for me. Today, I'm just gonna enjoy my time. So I got up, I got dressed, and I went to the park. And I also went to this waterfall. Because I was like, let me go to some free attractions because I don't want to spend my savings just balling out. I'm going to save my savings for when I need it. So I'm like, let me go to this waterfall. And I was taking pictures and everything. So later on that day, I spoke with my mom and we was on FaceTime. And for some reason, we were having a conversation to where I had to share my location to show her something. So I went to my photo gallery to show her. And she was like, that's you? I was like, yes. She was like, that's today? So I was like, yes, I was at the waterfall. I'm thinking she really just intrigued about the scenery. So she was like, I know good and well your ass ain't at no waterfall when I'm over here worried sick about you. I'm thinking I need to send you some money. You better get a damn job. You over there at a waterfall. Man, when I tell y'all I was crying, laughing, it was so funny because I was definitely worried. But sometimes when it's out of your control, there's nothing you could do. My mom hates the fact that I'm nonchalant towards a lot of things. It's just the fact that when it's out of your control, there's nothing you could do. I know I was applying to jobs. I was taking an initiative to get a job. I just could not get a job. So I said, man, I'm going to the waterfall. I met someone from my hometown who actually lived in Texas, and she told me when I moved to Texas, she'd be my first client. So I was like, well, I'm going to do her hair. When I do her hair, I'm going to record it, and I'm going to post some content. Hair and another client's hair that day, and I recorded each. So that night, I posted her video, and it went viral. I was only doing a daily rental. So the next day, I went to church. The message was for me. It was about taking a step out on faith and how God will not leave you stranded. Moving to a new city, not sure what God has for you, but being hopeful, just accepting that this was your season and accepting all that God has for you. So I joined the church from that day. And I did my hair and went to church. I recorded that as well. And when I posted that, it went viral. So I was like, okay, let me open up my books. I opened up my books and I started receiving clients like every other hour. I see so many clients from those couple of TikToks that I had to lock in so that I would have a stationary place for my clients to come. From that week, I have been receiving clients every day. So I go front, like I've never been able to not make money. Those few days was very hard for me. Like at one point I was like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Y'all remember I was a little girl?
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
God was like, that's too bad. You're gonna have to wait so that you can appreciate this when I finally bless you. And sure enough, God bless me. Once I began working consistently every day, and I know this just wasn't a humbug from the viral video, I said, okay, well, it's time for you to get a suite. So I found me a suite, ordered my furniture, decorated it to my life. Here we are today. I'm still accepting everything that God has for me and just knowing and understanding that God is very intentional with every move he has. He also leaves room for my errors. so I don't have to worry about whether I'm making the right decision or not. And also when I feel that I am not making the right decision or I am unsure, Psalms 23 and Psalms 91 definitely reassures me that I'm not walking alone, I am walking with God. In the valley of the shadow of death, God is with me. So one of the last questions is, what is the worst and best part of the industry? I feel there really aren't too many bad parts of the industry that I have noticed for myself. Not that there aren't any, it's just I just try to be optimistic because there will be negativity within every industry. With posting, we are allowing other people to have an opinion, although those opinions don't weigh as heavy as how we feel about it. The worst part is that we are in the trolling era, but the best part is that we are able to see our work online and be inspired. I love when styles are trending because it's like you would have never even thought of that had it not been for someone posting that. So I love the fact that we can go to social media and find inspiration within hairstyles. And I love the fact that I can gain wisdom from looking at another stylist's technique. Yeah, thank you for watching my first video. I look forward to creating more content for you all. I look forward to making get ready with me videos, styling my clients' hair, a day in the life of myself under many umbrellas, many other videos. So stay tuned and thanks for watching, y'all. See if this damn phone dead. You're not doing no more takes. Take 2.